So I'm assuming that you have some overhang on your stomach that you might want to get rid of. So here's what I used to look like, and here's what I look like now. So I'll show you what I did for the basis of weight loss so you can go on this journey as well. And right now the only problem that I have is loose skin, which is a good problem to have. Now my name is Amon. I help people achieve their purpose as mental and physical health reframes, and I'm assuming that your purpose right now is to lose that weight, so let's get into it. So first things first, you want fat loss, not weight loss. So if you actually really think about it, what you really want is fat loss. You want less fat, but you don't necessarily want the weight on the scale to go down. So losing weight is not the goal, but losing fat is. But there's a caveat. So losing weight is the byproduct of losing fat, but losing fat is not necessarily the byproduct of losing weight. If you measure your success by the number on the weight scale, so you'll basically do whatever it takes to get the number on the scale down. And if it doesn't work, you'll be upset and angry at why you're not making progress. Now, if you measure your success by how you actually look and the fat that you have, then you can use the actual number on the scale as a factor into how you determine your success. But that's not the only factor that determines it. Let's say you gain 5 pounds, but you actually look a lot better and you don't really feel as fat, or clothes are fitting a little bit better and everything like that. Then since weight loss is not a goal, but fat loss is, then you're not going to be more happy thinking, okay, I went up 5 pounds, that's bad, when you really are looking better than you used to look like. Now, when I was trying to lose weight, I lost like 75 pounds, and I found out there was 2 things really that actually helped me lose weight. Everything else was kind of like either a multiplier or just not the basics of actually losing weight. The first thing is a caloric deficit, right? So to lose weight, you basically need only one thing, and this is basic formula, right? It's the amount of calories that you actually eat right now, and it must be less than that amount of calories that you burn right now. So let's say your maintenance calories, the amount of calories that you burn just living, just existing as a human per day, right? Let's say it's 2,000 calories and you eat 1,500 calories for that day. Then you're in a 500 calorie deficit and you'll lose 500 calories worth of fat and muscle. But obviously if you work out, you're gonna have more fat being lost than actually muscle. Now a more realistic approach is eating maybe 1,700 calories per day, or maybe eating like 1,900 but then burning 300 calories actively through like biking, running, walking, whatever. Now the key word there is actively. You don't like, if you just simply stay doing whatever for an hour, just like sitting down, you'll probably burn 50 calories like that. But that just falls into the category of keeping yourself alive with the calories burned there. You want to be actively burning calories. Now, ways to make a caloric deficit easier. So you can eat foods with less calories. So an example would be a bagel plus butter plus coffee. That might be like 500 to 600 calories for breakfast, which depending on your goal for the day of calories, it might be a pretty hefty chunk of what you can eat that day. Versus 2 pieces of toast plus black coffee, that might be 300 calories. And on top of that, black coffee has some fat burning properties, so it's just better than regular coffee, and putting sugar and milk, whatever junk you put into it. But the main point is that you can actually eat more later on in the day. Second way is intermittent fasting. So this is basically where you have a specific time for the day to actually eat, and you don't eat any other time other than that. So an example would be eating from 11 to 4 p.m. but you don't eat anything before 11 or after 4 p.m. An example would be Ben Baller. He lost a lot of weight like this, and he ate complete junk food, like whatever, right?
Intermittent fasting, straight up. I was doing 14-10. I stuck with that for a while. I'm at 12-12 now.
What does 14-10 mean?
14 hours I do not eat nothing. 10 hours I eat. So pretty much, let's say for instance, 8 p.m. is my last meal. After that, I can only have water or tea. Nothing that would break a fast. And then my first meal would be at 10 a.m. the next day. So at 10 a.m., I have my coffee with milk, with sugar, with cream, whatever the fuck it is. Have a bagel, have a pizza for lunch, have a burger, have steak, have french fries, have some candy, drink soda all day long. 8 p.m. it's gotta stop.
But he simply just had intermittent fasting, and that got him to lose a lot of weight, even though it was a pretty long time frame, but he put very little effort into it, compared to what you could be doing. Obviously, if you want to have that effect now, or as soon as possible of losing that weight, then you can do like more active things and eat less sugar, which is the next point. But there's still one more thing that you can do to make a caloric deficit actually easier, and it's a weighted vest. So apparently it makes you burn more calories just throughout the day by wearing that vest. It basically tricks your body into thinking that it's more heavier than it actually is. So it would burn the amount of calories that's needed for maybe a 200-pound man when maybe you might be 185 or something like that. And on top of that, it makes a little bit more sense because you're putting more stress on your body and your muscles. So if you're putting more stress on your muscles, they have to work a little bit harder. And to make them work a little bit harder, they need calories. So you can just wear it throughout the whole day, or at the very least, just wear it whenever you walk, run, do activities, chores or anything like that, or during your workout. Now it's because you're axially loaded, so that's kind of like having a barbell on your back throughout the whole day. So I guess like it's similar to how obese people have like really good calves, because like if they have to do anything with their body, their calves have to be very good and very much like developed to actually move their body around. And it's also kind of the reason why obese people don't really need to hit legs as often when they're training or trying to lose weight, because their legs are already pretty developed, but that's kind of like an advantage. So you should probably just train them normally. So then when you're actually lean and you have all that fat loss, then you're ahead of the game instead of being behind. Now, if you want to know what your maintenance calories are, use a TDEE calculator. I'll have one linked in the description. Now, last point, no sugar whatsoever. So sugar sends two signals to your body. One, to eat more, and two, that you can store whatever calories that you just ate as fat. So that's like the reason why when people have like junk food, like, you know, like a burger, fries and stuff like that, it's not like horrible on its own, but it's like 5 times, 10 times more horrible when they have sugar on top of it with like a soda. Honestly, there's negatives in both of those things. Actually making you want to eat more, and also making you store a lot more fat. And you know how people always fail diets, and those kind of people will always tell you everything in moderation. Well, those people will tell you that sugar in moderation is good. And those are also the kind of people who don't stick to diets or achieve anything with their life. So takeaway, no sugar whatsoever. Not even a gram of sugar at all. Now, if it's like an apple or like a banana, like that sugar is fine. It's natural. It's meant to be there. You're still gonna have some of those effects, but it's not gonna be as bad as a Pop-Tart or something like that. Like, I'd rather eat 5 apples versus 1 Pop-Tart. Even if the sugar content is like 5 times or 10 times more, it's definitely not as bad as just having 1 Pop-Tart. And it's like a very, very simple rule to follow. Just have no sugar whatsoever, added sugar, right? You can still even eat pasta, pizza, you know, rice, whatever like that, as long as it doesn't have added sugar or, you know, best case scenario, any sugar in it. And the absolute worst thing that you can do to lose weight is have soda or anything like that whenever you eat food. Now, I use this to like a stepping stone to my current diet, and it worked pretty well. And you're gonna get a better diet after you actually, you know, go through this phase. But obviously this phase is just to make you lose weight. It's not to make you like 100% healthy or anything like that. But like, yeah, this is the worst thing that you can do, have a sugary food or a sugary drink. And it's crazy how all these little kids are completely drawn to sugar. Like, they only drink juice, no water. And then we wonder why there's so many children who are obese. And adults have this in the way of coffee. So having all these like little things in your coffee, like milk, sugar, all of that, it's gonna make it, 1, have more calories, and also 2, have sugar in it, which is gonna make you store more of those calories than you would have. If it's like just coffee with creamer and milk, it's gonna be a little bit less worse than just having coffee with creamer and milk and sugar, which is gonna make you store a lot of that as fat. But then kids have this in the way of juice, cereal, and even there's like the coping mechanism or whatever, just like protein cereal, like that's even worse for you, right? Even if it says no sugar, it's still aspartame, sucralose, like stevia, whatever it is. It still has like the same effects of sugar, but maybe like a little bit tamped down. Might even be a little bit worse in some cases. Like, their only effect is actually to reduce the amount of sugar in it. It still has effective sugars inside of it. So you see how it's getting harder and harder for people to lose weight. Like, I've seen so many people who say like losing weight is the hardest thing to do in life. Now obviously that is like way further from the truth. It is not a hard thing at all to do. There's more and more obese people every single year. Well, I think it's because of sugar. At least that's what I see. Like, even now they've removed sugar. There's alternatives. There's like sucralose, aspartame, there's stevia. But the thing is, with those, all they do is reduce sugar, but they still have the effects, and they might have more side effects. Like, people in the 1960s or something, like, right, they didn't really have that much of a problem with obesity. They didn't really have sugar pumped into their foods. They still had eggs for breakfast, bacon, whatever, and then maybe some bread or grains or something like that. Now it's just like cereals, bagels, juice, whatever, a bunch just like BS. So just to recap, there's 3 things to do that are just the basic weight loss. So number 1, fat loss. You want to lose fat, not weight. And number 2, eat less than what you burn, so you can use a TDEE calculator online. And number 3, no sugar, no exception at all to this rule. If you break this rule, then it's gonna reduce a lot of the potential weight that you could have lost. Now, if you can follow those 3 rules, then the no sugar rule, that was the most important thing out of all of this, right? Now, if you like this video, I hope it actually helps you lose some weight. Like, you've seen my journey, so it can definitely help you. Just don't break the no sugar rule. And if you like this video, you'll probably like my video on how to actually lose weight without tracking calories. So you can just click on that video on the screen somewhere, and it'll just be in the description. Now, if you stayed all the way to the end of this video, a quick tip: move to a very, very warm country, and that can help you lose a lot of weight. When I went to India for a couple of months, I lost 10 pounds while eating horrible food. It can definitely help you a lot because you're sweating so much during that time. Now, yeah, just click on that video somewhere around here in the description, and I'll see you in that video.